Yo guys,
The game changer.
game changer.
Time to change it. The game changer.
I was looking at some of the comments that I get on some of my videos, and I'm gonna go over some of them just to give you kind of where I'm coming from.
Time to change
Um,
Time to change it.
yeah, I'm
The game changer.
looking at this menticide that's going on right now, and
Time to change it.
that's right, methodology. Um, yeah, what's going on with human consciousness these days, and where everybody's head's at, and what's happening with what they're doing to us. I mean, the fear factor is beyond acceptable in my eyes. But I was looking at some comments, and Lyceum and Orphan Annie's had a good few things to say, and pardon me, Eli Buchanan, and Annie says, sickening, the death, disease, and destruction we are faced with, and we are forced to live with. And I don't think we live in a place that supports life. If we did, we would have access to our most basic needs, regardless of the ability to pay. We only have the illusion of freedom and choice. At the end of the day, we have very little control of what's really going on in our own world. If we did, then things like chemtrails would not be happening. I find it odd that with all this amazing technology, that all we can, things like shipping mass cargo across the raging seas and flying over lands with huge liners, but we can't improve the human condition. Everything about this place doesn't add up. If we sit down and slice it and dice it, it's not working out. I think this is why they keep us occupied with the bread and circus as the useless pursuits, caught up in your daily grind of dog eat dog world, so we don't question too much. We don't even know where we are in relation to the cosmos and who we are, except for the only things we know for sure is that we are on death row and we are an appointment with death. Right? The only guarantee that we have coming here is guaranteeing a suffering and a lifetime suffering, not a lifetime of happiness, right? And then Lyceum says, grim but true. And then and he says, she struggled with the insanity of this place and has felt like fish living out of water ever since the day she was born, more or less the day she arrived. The daily grind of eat, sleep, shit, and shower takes its toll. Meanwhile, trying to keep up with the bills, house, and yard is almost too much to cope. Everything is falling apart faster than I can keep up with, and I am one of those that constantly like to stay busy, even though our bodies fall apart quickly, almost like you're alien to this place, which I agree with. I try to stay happy and try to be thankful, but some of the things should just be give me like the rest of our basic needs. Like basically, we should at least have our basic needs. And she's sick of pretending to be happy with the bread and crumbs, living in this West world of manufactured scarcity, when you can see the abundance all around you, right? We shouldn't be in need for anything. We shouldn't want to be in need of anything as long as we are not harming each other. I can see and feel the prison walls. I really just wonder how many people put on a happy face and pretend just to get through the day. As much as I grew up loving and enjoying the holidays, I feel like they are just one mass satanic sacrifice, only masked being holy with the level of animals and Christmas trees that go to the slaughter. It's not easy to keep on trucking. Girlfriend, that's what she was replying to Lyceum. And then Eli Buchanan says, "Fuck, me too, Orphan Annie." And then he says, "I pick fake plastic polymer skin from my head daily." He's a fully targeted by 23, he says. I know about that kind of stuff because that's got to do with biofilm and all the chemtrail shit and the stuff, the nanotechnology they're spraying on us. I always show the biofilm in my distiller stuff. Eli, if you can get your stuff on this potassium iodide crystals and do a boiling hot bath, you wouldn't believe what comes off your body. Look out for Charlie's got one on iodide crystals and the hot water bath to remove the, it's called biofilm. It's in our water. It's part of this sick shit they're doing to us. Anyway, so I says, much love, Annie, POW, Ann Pearson, POW, right? I can hear and feel all your words 110%, my friend. It's a fear factory. That new video that recently came out called Fried Suddenly. I'm speaking in terms here, right? The new video that's came out that's called Fried Suddenly, right? Or Cried Suddenly, right? Proves it to me. I call this place hell, and for many reasons, and I truly do believe we are living in hell, right? To me, at my levels of understanding, this realm is an open-air insane asylum, dumpster fire, prison, right? And that's what the hell it is, right? Run by evil psychopaths. I think the juice they extract from us through the masses, with fear, confusion, emotions, sex, music, etc., powers, there are realities. Our heart keeps these juicing up this gig, right? And I think we are form. I don't think we are from here, which I got issues with that too, because Ella Silver does the book Humans Are Not From Here, but the thing is, I don't buy into the alien stuff, so this is it's the first half of the book is kind of like makes sense, right? But then when he starts talking about intergalactic travel and all that kind of stuff, that's a clusterfuck, anyway. But what I'm getting at is, you're born here. We don't even have any defenses built in, like a snake has got fangs and stuff like that. A wolf has got his fangs. Some animals use their tail. I've had incidences where I was in California and we were trying to catch lizards all the time. And sometimes if you got a hold of one, they would whip you with their tail, right? Every animal's got some sort of a defense built in. And what do? We got to go to school, learn how to do jiu-jitsu and karate and taekwondo and this kind of stuff. These animals have that built in instinctively. And even with my squirrels in the backyard here, or the raccoons and the skunks and stuff like that in my woods, these animals have the ability to survive here, and they don't pay rent, and it's a dog-eat-dog world. This whole world we live in is, even our body's built up of bacteria, eating bacteria. You know what I mean? This whole thing is a job. Anyway, I'm getting into it. Right? Our reality, this is where this whole fear, this is where you look into circuit board cities and stuff like that, like the CN Tower here in Toronto with its, used to be the largest freestanding structure in the world, but now I think it's the third. It's got a 1,776 Freemasonic steps in it, by the way, to go to the deck or whatever. It's a free energy device, and that basically powers downtown Toronto and then sends you a bill for $200 a month for feeding your family and washing your shorts. These guys got technology all around. Nukes are fake, so all those nuclear power plants, all they are is cloud makers. And I'm not saying that they don't make energy, because this is where steam makes electricity and whatnot, but the whole nuke thing is just basically hot water. And so anyway, what I'm saying here is our realities are being powered by the circuit board city layouts. This is why they got everybody stack and pack them in these apartment buildings, because red brick conducts electricity. And so this is just some red brick from the beach, because they fill the beaches in with all the rubble, like what they're doing next door to me here. They're tearing down all these single family dwellings, and they'll be taking that down. I don't think they'll be taking the cinder blocks down. There are probably some chunks of it, but most of the brick and everything goes down to the waterfront, and then they just fill in the land, and they just take back the sea with the bricks. You know what I mean? So I just went through a couple of summers of checking that stuff out on the beaches here, and there's all kinds of beachfronts that are just loaded with bricks, because they reclaim the land with the tearing down the old buildings, and then they build on top of it. Anyway, getting sidetracked here. Yeah, so I'm saying I don't think we are from here. Being out in nature proves this to me. We're just another perked up version of an animal on a farm being fleeced. They don't need us for our money, because they own the printing presses. They have all the gold. They have all the castles, and they have all, these guys have got, one world order has been going on for quite some time, and they've just been doing it behind our back. And this here, to me, is it's a prison realm. You ain't going nowhere. And I think you got to figure out how you can escape. And this is where you can't have any fear here. You got to walk tall. You got to be sturdy about yourself. You can't live in any fear whatsoever. I'm a spiritual being here, right? This whole biblical stuff of me, evolving from the image of God and stuff like that. Well, I got a problem with that, because if I evolve from the image of God, how come my knee's going bad, and I got a bad hip going on, or as you get older, you just start falling apart like a sack of shit, right? And then as you get older, you get the mind wipe, right? They give you the dementia and the Alzheimer's and yada yada yada. So I mean, this is a, and then they give you these doctors, these drug dealers to go to, and then they glorify them, and then they say, oh, take these medications. Well, the city waters recycled shit, and they just put sodium phosphoric acid in it and chlorine, and then push it through the pipes again. And then your brain's 88% water, so no wonder they call you shithead, right? The food's no good, it's all genetically modified, and then if you do get organic food in this realm, right, with the chemtrails going on, right, all the animals are being sprayed, all the vegetables are being sprayed, and if you ain't growing that stuff indoors in a bunker underground or something, it ain't officially organic, right? The water's no good, the air is no good, and the food's no good, right? So they control the weather, and they've been doing that for probably since time immemorial, just in different forms, right? But if you can't see the chemtrail planes out there, then you're not in the same game I am. But 9 out of 10 people in public, they're not in the same game that I am. So if you're watching this video, you're probably in the same game that I am. Anyway, Annie was saying some good things, and Lysium was saying some good things. And I'm talking about the whole aspect of what they're doing here to us. They don't want us for our money, guys. We are a really specific kind of a version of food, right? For a system that we don't understand, right? People say, oh, it's flat Earth, or it's spinning ball, or whatever. No, it's a matrix. This whole thing, it's a flat realm, right? But it's not what you think it is. This is beyond what anybody could imagine, and this is where they've got us dumbed down to the point where they've even messed with our DNA, right? And they've turned off certain aspects that we had in the past that we like. If you ate good foods and you didn't get the jabs from when we were kids, even if it was just your stupid little jabs to go to school. You know, not one of them is good for anybody. My grandkids are not, right? Um, I wish I had known the information I know now with my own kids, right, when they were growing up, but that's neither here nor there. I'm an old man, right? I make my mistakes, and I made enough of them to tell you what I know. I know what I'm talking about, right? This is a prison planet we're living in here, a prison realm, and I don't want to call it a planet because a plane, ET, is a small plane, right? And anyway, I'm not going to get into all that with you, but the thing is, this is a farm. And you can't be living in fear, because when you put off that energy, that goes into the ether, right? And this is where it's powering this shit show, and this is where that new movie came out, and I haven't even looked at it. It's already got 7.5 million views, and if you see that, it's shit show, especially when you got an asshole like fucking Stewie Peters on there with his ruby red shoes, right? I mean, come on. This guy's a grifter 110%. He's already made something like $3.5 million off of this bullshit, right? You know, with this all is pushing his fear porn. Fear porn sells, man. That's why I give up on these guys going to the rallies and stuff like that, because it's all about, oh yeah, all these doctors dropping this, that, and the other thing. I don't want to hear it, right? I'm not bringing that kind of fear into my life, right? I'm not going to pay attention to it, because I am not really into this shit. I have known about this crazy world ever since I was about 6 or 7 years old, when I basically had a petting zoo in my backyard with all kinds of animals, and I was upset when my neighbors were killing my neighbors had goats, chickens, just one short of having a cow in the backyard. Plus, around the corner, or not around the corner, it was like across the field, was Farmer Hawkins, and he had all his animals up there. And this is where I was growing up, and I couldn't understand why these animals had to die, because I mean, I really digged them. Anyway, the thing is, then my mother died, then my best friend died, and it's just been one crazy, crazy shit after another, after another, after another, after another, after another, until you get to about 60 years old. Plus, I've been doing this crazy stuff that I do for quite some time, and you just say, like, okay, look, whatever they taught us was a complete lie. The Jesus in the Bible, okay, that they give you in these books, right, is not the Jesus that I follow, okay? The Jesus I follow is the ones that they tried to carbon copy off of, right? And this is where, if you take a look at true Christianity, this is a different story, right? Whatever they tell you in those the KJV and you know, the international whatever, don't buy into it, man. I'm telling you right now. There's a lot of good words in it, right? But it's just like what Napoleon said. Religion was formed to by the elite to prevent them from getting killed by the masses. And I'll tell you one thing. What I'm trying to say is, Jesus did not practice Catholicism, and that's what 9 times out of 10 this whole Christian stuff is all about. Anyway, guys, I don't know what else to say right now. I'm gonna chill out. Hope you're having a good day. God bless you. Happy Thanksgiving if you're in the States and whatever. I love you, and don't fear anything here, man. I mean, the whole thing was what I'm trying to get at is, you're not really from here. That's where Jesus, the message in the Bible is, Jesus knew me before I entered my mother's womb. Don't get messed up in the bullshit down here, okay? Right? That's why Satan took him to the mountaintop and he showed him everything, and he said, hey, you can have whatever you want down here. You can have any one of my kingdoms, have them all if you want. All you gotta do is bow down to me. And he said, fuck off, buddy. I'm not even from this party. I ain't sticking around. I just came here to fucking, I didn't come here to fix a place. I just came here to fucking straighten people out, right? And this is where you got to understand. Jesus says you can't own anything here, and don't be living in the flesh, man. Living in the flesh is fear, worry, anxiety, all the above, right? The nervousness, everything, right? Jesus didn't practice Catholicism, man. He practiced spirituality, right? And these religions don't teach you anything about that and why you're here. This is another thing. If I was created by some important highfalutin God here, right, and I was made in the image of him or her or whatever you want to go about, right, and I got such a great immune system. Apparently, half my real good stuff has been shut off. Apparently, but I got such a good body that's resilient and whatever, right? But why do I got to take all these supplements? Why is the food no good? Why am I falling apart as I age? I mean, this guy, where is he now? Right? You see what I'm saying? What I'm getting at is the God of the Bible isn't exactly the kind of God I want to be chilling with, right? The God, the creator that I'm with, is the creator of all, right? And I don't follow into any religions, and that's the whole thing that I believe the demiurge is in charge of this planet, realm, whatever you want to call it, and you better figure out what you're doing here. It's an escape plan, all right? I think it's a prison break, and you got to figure out what's going on. Okay, guys, I love you. I don't know, I'm half buzzed, but I'll check you out soon. Peace and love, man. Ciao.